Well, good morning, everyone. April Marie here, filling in for Yaffee all week this week. He is out with his son, which I have a photo of. I need to get more photos. There's no such thing as having too many baby photos. Joined now by Todd Stacy of Alabama Daily News. Welcome to the program, Todd.
Good to be with you.
Did you have a good spring break? Did you actually get to have a spring break while the lawmakers were gone?
Well, the difference for us is for the Capitol Journal team, we don't have to have a show every night. During session, we broadcast every night from whatever happens, there in Montgomery. And so when they're not there, when they leave for spring break, at least we get that off. So we did not have a show, I guess, Monday through Thursday. We did have a weekend show, which was great. But so that, honestly, that feels like a vacation. Just that amount of, just that load off.
And not having to catch up with the daily drama. This was supposed to be a quiet session. What happened to that? Coming into it, there was a legislative, Jefferson County legislative meeting, and they were like, there won't be anything crazy. We're going to try to get out of there fast. It's the fourth part of the quadrennia. It was all, and then we get here and, you've got the PSC madness happening. You've got some shenanigans on the floor. It's not working out to be as quiet as they thought it would be.
No. And that's the thing. We all thought, we all believed them when they said, oh yeah, sleepy session. And look, it stands to reason why. I think most lawmakers and most leadership especially would have preferred for it to be a quiet session, but and nobody saw the Public Service Commission issue coming up. And that we were about halfway finished when that really all happened, maybe a little less than halfway. So, that came out of nowhere for anybody not super involved in that legislation. Even leadership for that matter. And so, nobody really saw that coming. So yeah, that turned it up a notch. And then you had some pretty dramatic internal stuff with the House caucus, leadership change, party leadership change because of, kind of cascading from John Wall and that making its way into the building. So yeah, and then of course we're right back where we started in the Senate with, only 6 days left, and there's a pretty big bottleneck of bills. So yeah, if you heard me say it was going to be a sleepy session, then I fully retract that. But we were just kind of taking our cues from, leadership and everybody else, thinking, all right, they really do want to get back on. But again, I think if they could have picked it any other way, they would have. This was not meant to be a dramatic session.
Yep. Well, so looking at the Senate, kind of all eyes on them for a number of bills, but the bill that ended up being, I don't want to say quite the thorn in the side of Ledbetter, the closing party registration bill. Are you hearing any appetite for it in the Senate at all? Because I have heard it's probably a no-go.
Well, they're just running out of time. Had they passed it a lot earlier in the session, then yeah, I could see a path for it. But something like that, it's a huge change. And like you said, it got through the House. Ledbetter supported it. I think he needed to. But and a majority of Republicans supported it. But you did hear on the House floor, most of the opposition to the bill was not coming from Democrats. It was coming from Republicans who really don't like this idea that, you have to be registered as a Republican to vote in the Republican primary. They, member after member just kept saying, like, I've got a lot of independent voters that are not necessarily moderates. Like, a lot of them are more conservative than your run-of-the-mill Republican, but they don't claim the Republican Party. So there were some really good points made. I would imagine there are plenty of senators who have the same kind of points and same kind of hesitation with this. So yeah, I think it's a long shot. Right now in the Senate, you got to remember they still got to do the education trust fund budget. That is the single biggest item that the legislature does every year.
Yep.
So that's going to be in committee this week. Only got a few more days to get that going. And after that, you really got to choose and kind of triage what you want to do. You can't do everything, and there's only so much you can cloture in a day, meaning cut off debate. And so, will it be that bill? I mean, it's not even through committee in the Senate yet.
Yeah.
So I think it's just probably too late. It would take a real united effort with all Republicans 100% on board, willing to go to the mat on this. And I don't think you have that, just like you didn't in the House.
I agree. I think that this is this is going to take a lot of time, and a lot of people, there are people out there on the ground who have made this their thing. And I just think, logistically, I don't know that it's there when there are other things that people do want, that are other priorities that are likely to be met. Do you think that the PSC bills, we still had the Mac Butler one that would mandate rate hearings, and then we had the one that came out of the Senate that would increase the number of spots. What are you hearing on those?
I think they likely will get combined in some way, and we're hearing the same thing from Pro Tem Gudger and the same thing from Speaker Ledbetter, that they, both bodies are open to that because they kind of took different approaches. And you bring up the rate hearing thing. I think that's a pretty important provision in this whole discussion.
That's going to be
because
huge.
I think if they went forward with something and that was left out, then I think a lot of the folks that are involved in this issue, meaning the constituents that people are hearing from, and maybe they are a loud minority, but they're still hearing. Every member is hearing from folks. I think if they pass something without a rate hearing component, then it would not do the job that it would not satisfy those constituents that they're hearing from. I think they understand that, so I would look for some kind of combination. And that happens all the time. I mean, conference committees happen. A lot of times it leads to, improved legislation. In this case, I think that can only be the case. I've got some questions about some things in the Senate bill. I've got some questions about some things in the House bill. So, sometimes a conference committee is just what the doctor ordered to figure out the right kind of compromise.
Exactly. You're listening to the Yaffee Show, but no, Yaffee is not here. You've got April Marie Fogel and Todd Stacy on the line. Todd, let me ask you this. So as we get back from spring break, are there any bills that you think, okay, they're going to get this done and they're going to get this done quickly, especially in the Senate where, like you said, there's a bottleneck and then there's the threats of these long days?
Mm-hmm. Well, I do think the wage income tax cut, I don't know what we can call it now. It's not the complete elimination of income taxes on overtime wages. Remember that's kind of have an arc because they eliminated all income tax on overtime wages. I guess that was 3 years ago, and nobody saw the hit to the education trust fund that it was going to be. And you talk about like $500 million. And so they've come forward now with essentially a tax credit. I mean, you don't pay up to $1,000 in income tax to the state for, past that overtime window. So, I mean, look, it's basically $1,000 tax cut for wage earners. And that's been sponsored by State Representative James Lomax. It is ready for a vote in the House, I believe. And so I think I think that'll be on the fast track. Everybody loves a tax cut. And this is one, obviously, that they've been trying to figure out. How do they do the overtime tax cut, but it not just completely, bleed out the education trust fund? Plus, it puts them maybe, and this is pretty important too, it puts them more in line with what Trump has done on the federal side and what federal income tax is going to look like. And that'll make it a lot simpler and a lot harder to kind of rig the system a little bit. And that's important.
There you go. All right. Well, Todd, tell our listeners again where you've got your daily videos and where they can sign up for your newsletters, all that good stuff if they don't get it.
Well, of course, you want to sign up for the daily news. I mean, most people are by now, but if you want to get that information in your inbox every day, it's just aldailynews.com. You can enter your name and your email right there on the homepage, and you'll be on the list. And, of course, Capitol Journal. We're back to nightly programming on Alabama Public Television, so just tune in. It's 10:30, meaning after your local news. You can switch over to APT and see what happened in the legislature that day. So we'll be on the air tonight and through the week.
There you go. Thank you so much, Todd. I appreciate you taking the time this Monday morning to give us a call.
No problem.
All right. That was Todd Stacy with Alabama Daily News. We're going to take a quick break here. And when we come back, we'll get into some more of the top headlines. And I want to talk about some of those bills he mentioned as well. You guys hold tight for that. April Marie filling in for Yaffee.
It's the Yaffee program on WVNN.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
Hey football fans, still a legend, Jerome Bettis here. When I think about football in Pittsburgh, I think about tradition, hard work, and moments that last forever. It's a place where the love of the game brings people together. And for the first time ever, the NFL Draft comes to the Steel City. Be there for 3 days of football, and the moment draft dreams are realized. The 2026 NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light, April 23rd to the 25th. Register for free entry at NFL.com/draft access.
Vince Colonnese is redefining news talk.
I'm Vince Colonnese, host of the Vince Podcast. I'm bringing you the truth beneath the headlines of all of the nation's top stories.
In-depth interviews.
We feature news-making interviews with the top guests on the whole planet. And I'll ask the questions you only dream of other interviewers asking.
And a front row seat to the most important conversations of the day.
It's a show with an obsessive focus on what's good for America. You are going to love Vince.
The Vince Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Full Send Golf.
You guys know how much I really love golf, and I think every week would be dope to post on the Golf Channel. I want to get a lot of guests on here.
Salim's going to take lead. I'm down to be in it. It's not really work to play golf.
Join the party on the golf course.
I was like, let's go to the range. Oh. So what are we putting on it?
We said 10K, right?
10K?
All right. We probably bet more than all the other golf channels, right?
10K, 9 holes.
Those guys bet for like cookies.
I feel like I'm going to shank it.
This guy's been training like a Navy SEAL when it comes to golf.
I'm very excited. You excited?
Yeah.
Full Send Golf. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.